Can India replace Rafale with Tejas Mk2? On paper, the answer is yes. More indigenous content, modern sensors, a powerful radar, a future 120 kilonewton engine, and at roughly the cost of one Rafale, India could potentially build almost 2 Tejas Mk2 fighters. So why keep buying Rafales? Why spend billions on foreign aircraft when India is developing its own fighters? Because what I'm about to tell you completely changes this comparison. Let's start with Tejas Mk2. Smaller, lighter, cheaper, but don't underestimate it. Tejas Mk2 is not just another fighter. It's part of an Indian-controlled combat ecosystem. And that is a massive strategic advantage. No foreign approvals, no export restrictions, no dependence on outside suppliers. In a future conflict, that matters a lot. But there is a catch. Tejas Mk2 is still a single-engine medium fighter, and physics doesn't care about national pride. Compared to larger twin-engine aircraft, it carries less fuel, less payload, and offers less endurance during long-range strike missions. Against Pakistan, that's usually manageable. Against China, things become much more complicated. Because geography changes everything. Distance, altitude, mission duration. Tejas alone cannot cover every mission profile required by the Indian Air Force. Something is still missing. A survivable medium-weight strike platform with greater reach and flexibility. What fills the gap? The answer is AMCA, India's future stealth fighter. Unlike Tejas Mk2, AMCA is being designed in the same broad weight category as aircraft like Rafale. On paper, AMCA can perform all the missions Rafale performs today. And in some areas, it could potentially do even more. So problem solved? Absolutely. And if that's not enough, bring in the Su-30MKI, especially after its planned upgrades. Now look at the picture. Tejas Mk2 handles large-scale fleet requirements. AMCA handles stealth and high-threat missions. Su-30MKI handles heavy payload and long-range strike missions. At this point, many viewers will say, case closed, Tejas Mk2. AMCA. Together, they replace Rafale, right? But now stop. Look at what we just did. We assumed a lot of things. We assumed Tejas Mk2 is fully mature. We assumed AMCA is operational. We assumed Su-30MKI upgrades are complete. We assumed weapon integration happens smoothly. We assumed production scales successfully. We assumed maintenance targets are achieved. And that's where the entire debate changes. Because building a fighter aircraft is not the hard part. Turning it into a mature combat system is. But what does it actually mean? A fighter doesn't go from prototype to combat-ready squadron overnight. The journey looks something like this. Prototype, flight testing, weapons testing, software testing, electronic warfare testing, operational testing, pilot feedback, low-rate production, mass production, then years of operational experience. And even after induction, the learning never stops. The aircraft evolves. The software evolves. The pilots evolve. The doctrine evolves. Maturity is not a milestone, it's a process. Look at the F-35. First flight, 2006. Entered operational service, 2015. Full-rate production approval, nearly 2 decades after the first flight. Think about that. Almost 20 years. And this was backed by the largest military budget on Earth. Now look at Rafale. First demonstrator flight, 1986. Entered service, 2001. Combat tested in Afghanistan, Libya, Iraq, Syria. Every deployment improved the aircraft. Every mission improved the software. Every pilot added feedback. The Rafale flying today is not the Rafale that entered service in 2001. Even India's Su-30MKI proves the same point. It entered service more than 20 years ago. Yet India is still upgrading it. New radar, new avionics, new EW systems, new weapons. Because maturity never truly ends. When someone says, AMCA will replace Rafale, what they're really saying is, AMCA performs exactly as promised. Production scales smoothly. Weapons integrate on schedule. EW systems perform as expected. Pilots gain experience quickly. Maintenance targets are achieved. That's a lot of assumptions. So why is Rafale important? Not because India cannot build something better, not because Tejas is weak, not because AMCA will fail. Rafale matters because it exists today. It is flying today. It is combat-proven today. It requires no assumptions, no waiting, no future timelines, no development risk. And yes, the frustration is real, because this debate should never have happened. Think about it. If India had continued investing aggressively in the cavalry engine, if the medium combat aircraft concept had moved faster, if Tejas Mk2 and AMCA had received approvals earlier, imagine a different timeline. Tejas Mk2 flying around 2023. AMCA flying around 2025. Production planning already underway. Weapons integration already progressing. Pilots already training. Doctrine already evolving. In that timeline, the debate about buying more Rafales might barely exist, but that is not the timeline we live in. Tejas and AMCA are still being developed. India's indigenous engine ecosystem is still being developed, and while all of that is happening, threats are not waiting. The Indian Air Force cannot tell its adversaries, "Please wait 10 years while we complete our programs." National security doesn't work that way. That is why Rafale exists in the Indian Air Force, not because India cannot build something better, but because India needs capability today, not 10 years from now. And this is also why discussions around aircraft like the Su-57 continue to appear from time to time. Not because imports are ideal, but because delays create pressure, and pressure creates demand for immediate capability. Every year of delay has a cost. Every postponed decision creates a gap, and eventually someone has to fill that gap. Today, Rafale helps fill that gap. Tomorrow, it may be Tejas Mk2. After that, AMCA, and hopefully one day, a completely Indian ecosystem. But we are not there yet, and pretending we are already there helps nobody. This is the price India is paying for decisions that should have been taken years earlier. Fighter jets are expensive. Delays are even more expensive. And that's why Rafale is important. Not because it represents India's future, but because it protects the gap between today and that future. Some people blame the Air Force. Some people blame HAL. Some people blame DRDO. I blame the Ministry of Defense. You probably have yours, so tell me in the comments. Who do you think is most responsible for the delays that brought India to this point? And more importantly, what should India do today to make sure the next generation never has this same debate again?